Are you tired of feeling like you're just another option in her life? Like you're there when it's convenient, but not someone she truly values or prioritizes? It's a frustrating and disheartening feeling, isn't it? But here's the truth. It doesn't have to stay this way. You have the power to shift how she sees you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. It all begins with you. When you take control of your own actions, your mindset, and your value, the dynamics in your relationship will naturally start to change. In this video, we're going to explore 11 transformative strategies to make her prioritize you. But there's a twist. These aren't just ordinary tips. We're drawing on the timeless wisdom of the Stoics to guide you through this journey. So, if you're ready to go beyond surface-level advice and dive into something that can truly transform your relationships and your mindset, this is for you. Let's get started. Number 1. Know your value before demanding hers. If you want to be a woman's priority, it all starts with how you see yourself. Knowing your own value isn't just a phrase. It's a mindset, a way of living. You can't expect anyone to prioritize you if you don't already prioritize yourself. Respect and love are things you must first give to yourself before you can genuinely ask for them from others. Think of it this way. You're building a home that someone would want to step into and stay in. But would you build that home on a shaky foundation? Of course not. Your self-respect is the solid ground upon which everything else is built. Without it, nothing stands for long. Women gravitate toward men who stand firm in who they are, who understand their worth, and who won't compromise their standards just to be liked or chosen. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This principle is a powerful guide in relationships. Don't let your worth be tied to craving someone else's approval or attention. When you chase validation, you give away your power. Instead, focus on cultivating what makes you truly valuable: your character, your discipline, and the way you carry yourself. When you embrace this mindset, you stop being reactive to how others treat you. Instead, you stand firm, showing through your actions that you know your worth. True strength lies in recognizing that your value is rooted in who you are, not in what you seek from others. This quiet confidence creates the space for people to respect and prioritize you naturally. When you carry yourself with purpose and confidence, when you make decisions not out of fear of losing her, but out of respect for yourself, you naturally command attention. It's not arrogance, it's quiet strength, and it's irresistible. Remember, being someone's priority isn't about convincing them to choose you. It's about living in a way that shows you've already chosen yourself. As the Stoics teach us, focus on what's within your control. Your actions, your mindset, your boundaries. Let go of trying to control what others think or feel. Ironically, when you do this, when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, the right people, those who truly see and value you, will prioritize you without hesitation. So, don't wait for someone to make you their priority. Start by being your own. Number 2. Build purpose, not promises. Promises are easy to make, aren't they? But keeping them, truly living up to the words you speak, is another story altogether. It's tempting to lean on grand gestures or flowery language to capture someone's attention. But at the end of the day, what matters isn't what you say, it's what you do. Words without action are like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly. If you want to be a woman's priority and not just an option, The key lies in focusing on your own life first. Build something meaningful. Build yourself. Let's be real. A man who is driven, passionate, and ambitious doesn't need anyone else to define him. That kind of man doesn't just attract attention, he commands respect. Why? Because he's living his life with purpose, not waiting for someone else to give him direction. Women are drawn to that energy because it's rare. It's the difference between someone who is merely existing and someone who is truly alive. Epictetus once said, "First decide who you wish to be, then act accordingly." That's a powerful reminder, isn't it? It's not about making superficial changes or pretending to be something you're not. It's about digging deep and deciding the kind of man you want to become. Someone with integrity, someone with ambition, someone who knows what he stands for. And then, you align your actions with that vision. Let's say you have a goal of starting your own business, mastering a new skill, or getting into the best shape of your life. These aren't just things to impress someone else, they're commitments to yourself. And when you stay consistent, when you grind through the tough days and celebrate the wins, you're showing not only discipline, but also self-respect. That energy is contagious. People notice, and yes, she will notice. When your life has direction, it's as if you're on a journey worth taking. You're not sitting idle, hoping someone will come along and save you from boredom. You're already moving forward. And here's the thing. A woman who sees your momentum, your focus, and your commitment to growth will want to be part of it. She'll want to walk alongside you, not out of obligation, but out of genuine admiration. Purpose is magnetic. It says, "This man knows where he's going, and I want to be part of that story." Being a priority isn't about forcing your way into someone's life or competing for attention. It's about living in such a way that your value speaks for itself. It's about being so secure in your own path that you don't need anyone else to complete you. That's what sets you apart from the men who are content being options. So ask yourself, are you living a life that's worth prioritizing? And if not, what steps can you take today to change that? This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself day after day, even when it's hard. That's the kind of strength that makes you more than an option. It makes you unforgettable. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree that purpose is more magnetic than promises? I'd love to hear your perspective. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Or, if this resonates with you, type, "I choose purpose over promises," in the comments to affirm your commitment to growth. Let's build a conversation around living a life of meaning and direction. Number 3. Listen to understand, not to respond. One of the most overlooked ways to shift from being an option to becoming a priority in a woman's life is by mastering the art of truly listening. Think about this for a moment. How often do people genuinely listen without waiting for their turn to speak? It's rare, isn't it? Most of us listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. But here's the thing. When you choose to listen with your full attention, when you seek to understand her thoughts and feelings instead of rushing to offer solutions, you send a powerful message. You value her. Let's break this down. Imagine she's had a tough day. She's venting about her boss, the deadlines piling up, or how she feels overwhelmed. In that moment, she's not looking for someone to solve her problems. She's looking for someone to hear her, to validate her emotions. Instead of interrupting with advice or trying to fix things, you pause, look her in the eye, and say, "That sounds like a lot to deal with. How can I support you?" That single act of empathy can make her feel seen, heard, and understood. things that go far deeper than any quick fix ever could. This approach isn't just about being kind. It's about connection. A deeper connection is built when she feels safe to express herself around you, knowing you're not just another person waiting to impose your perspective. Listening creates intimacy, and intimacy fosters trust. Trust, in turn, elevates you from being just someone in her life to someone she prioritizes. Stoicism teaches us the value of self-restraint and presence in moments like these. Seneca said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen more than we speak." Think about how profound that is. It's a reminder to let go of the impulse to fill every silence, to resist the urge to fix things immediately. Sometimes your quiet presence and understanding are all she needs. By embodying this Stoic principle, you demonstrate emotional intelligence and self-control, qualities that naturally draw others closer to you. Now, let's flip the perspective for a second. How many people in her life truly listen? Most likely, not many. By simply being the exception, by offering your attention and understanding in a world full of distractions, you set yourself apart. You stop being just another person and become someone who brings peace, reassurance, and emotional support into her life. Becoming her priority isn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's about the small, consistent acts that make her feel valued and respected. Listening with intention is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. It's not flashy or loud, but its impact is undeniable. And as you make this shift, not only will she begin to see you differently, but you'll also notice how your own relationships deepen and flourish. In the end, you're not just becoming her priority. You're becoming someone who leads with character, kindness, and emotional strength, a person who is irreplaceable. Number 4, stand firm, even in conflict. Conflict is a natural part of any relationship. It's not something you can avoid, but how you approach it can determine whether you become a woman's priority or remain just an option. Think about it. When disagreements arise, many men either explode in anger or shut down completely. These knee-jerk reactions only serve to escalate tension or create distance. Neither approach builds trust or admiration. Instead, there's a better way, one that requires composure, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. Imagine a moment of disagreement with someone you deeply care about. Voices may rise, emotions flare, and the tension feels thick. At that moment, the easy path might be to lash out, say something hurtful, or retreat into silence. But, as Stoicism teaches, these reactions are rooted in impulses, not wisdom. The Stoics remind us that, while we can't control the external, what someone else says or does, we have complete power over how we choose to respond. It's in these moments of challenge that your character is revealed. Instead of reacting with anger or withdrawing completely, aim to meet the conflict with calmness and clarity. Let's say your partner accuses you of neglecting their needs. Rather than snapping back defensively or shutting down in frustration, take a breath. Pause. Listen, not to respond, but to truly understand her perspective. Acknowledge her feelings. I hear what you're saying, and I can see why you'd feel that way. Then, express yourself with the same respect. It wasn't my intention to make you feel this way, but I want us to work through this together. This approach doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It means controlling them so they don't control you. A woman admires a man who can stand firm in his values while expressing himself with respect and patience. Your ability to navigate conflict without resorting to drama demonstrates maturity and emotional strength. It tells her that you're a partner she can rely on, no matter how turbulent the waters may become. Picture this in her eyes. You're the calm in the storm, the steady hand when things feel chaotic. That steadiness earns her trust and admiration, because it shows you're not swayed by momentary emotions. You're focused on solutions, on preserving the relationship, and on ensuring both of you feel heard and respected. Remember, your calmness is your strength. It's what separates someone who is merely an option from someone who becomes irreplaceable. The next time an argument arises, take it as an opportunity to show her who you are. Be the man who doesn't just react, but thoughtfully addresses the situation. When you master this, you won't just be in her life. You'll be a priority in her heart. What about you? How do you typically handle conflict in your relationships? Have you ever tried approaching disagreements with the calm and composed mindset of a Stoic? Share your thoughts in the comments below, or simply type, "Calm is my strength," if this resonates with you. Your perspective might inspire others who are on their journey to mastering emotional intelligence and building deeper connections. Let's keep the conversation going. Number 5. Show up consistently, not conveniently. It's not flashy, it's not loud, and it rarely grabs attention right away. But that's the point. Consistency is the silent force that builds trust, respect, and value over time. The exact things that separate you from being an option and elevate you to being a priority in her life. Here's the thing. Grand romantic gestures are nice. They make for good stories, and sure, they might sweep someone off their feet in the moment. But you know what's more powerful? Showing up day after day, moment after moment, in both the big and small ways. It's your ability to prove through action that you're reliable, steady, and genuinely invested in her, no matter what. Building trust is like creating a savings account. Every time you follow through on a promise, show up when you say you will, or offer support without being asked, you're making a deposit. It's not always glamorous or even noticeable right away. But over time, those consistent deposits turn into something solid, something unshakable. And when she looks at that metaphorical account of trust you've built with her, she'll know she can rely on you. And that's what makes you a priority. There's a mantra from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus that says, "Persist and resist." Persist in being the person you say you are, reliable, honest, and consistent. Resist the urge to take shortcuts, to act only when it's convenient, or to do things just to impress her. Real consistency isn't about convenience. It's about character. It's about showing her, through your actions, that you value her enough to show up, even when it's not easy or exciting. Imagine this. She's had a rough day, and instead of just sending her a generic, "Hope you're okay" text, you take the time to really listen to her, to be present and empathetic. Maybe it's not the first time she's had a tough day this month, but you don't get tired of being there for her. Or maybe it's something as simple as remembering her favorite coffee order and surprising her with it on a random morning. Not because it's a big occasion, but because you know it'll make her smile. Consistency is doing these things not just once or twice, but over and over again, because that's who you are. It's about proving that your actions are aligned with your words. Now, I'm not saying you should do this for validation or to win her over. Stoicism also teaches us that we should focus on what's within our control. Your own integrity, your actions, and your consistency. Whether or not she prioritizes you in return is up to her. But when you live this way, you naturally attract people who see your value and treat you accordingly. So, don't just aim for the spotlight moments. Be consistent in the shadows, when no one is watching, when there's no immediate reward. That's how you become a priority, through the quiet strength of showing up day after day, proving through action that you're someone she can count on. Over time, she'll see the difference between someone who's just there when it's convenient, and someone who's truly invested in her. And trust me, she'll choose the latter. Number 6. Lead without dominating. Real leadership in a relationship is about creating a sense of safety, direction, and partnership. It's not about being a dictator who makes all the decisions. It's about being a steady presence who listens, values her input, and navigates life with her as a team. You see, women don't want someone who dominates. They want someone who leads with fairness, kindness, and respect. Imagine this. If you're deciding on something as simple as where to go for dinner, don't just shrug and say, "I don't care." You decide. Instead, take the initiative. "I was thinking about trying that Italian place you mentioned. What do you think?" That small act of being decisive while inviting her opinion shows that you value her voice, and also that you're confident enough to lead without being controlling. Now, let's tie in a little Stoicism here, because it can teach us a lot about what leadership really means. Stoics believe that a great leader is someone who stays calm under pressure, is guided by reason, and treats others with fairness. Imagine how powerful it is to bring that energy into your relationship. When she's having a tough day, instead of reacting emotionally or trying to fix everything, you remain steady and supportive. You listen, offer empathy, and let her know you're there for her. That kind of calmness creates a safe emotional space where she feels she can rely on you no matter what. True leadership is never about overshadowing her. It's about lifting her up. Think about how much stronger your connection becomes when she feels like her opinions matter, her feelings are respected, and her dreams are supported. When you embody these traits, you show her that she's a priority in your life, not just someone you spend time with when it's convenient. Being her priority means being someone she looks to, not just for decisions, but for guidance, partnership, and trust. It's about setting a tone in the relationship that says, "I'm here to build something meaningful with you." That's the kind of leadership that makes her feel not just loved, but deeply valued. And when she feels that way, trust me, you'll never be just an option to her. You'll be someone she treasures. If you've made it this far, it shows you're truly invested in growing as a leader in your relationship. That kind of intentional effort is exactly what makes a connection thrive. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one way you've practiced leadership in your own relationships? If this resonated with you, just type "Real leadership is partnership" in the comments. Your perspective could inspire someone else to step up in their own relationship journey. Number 7. Stay mysterious, but transparent. Think of a great story. Would you enjoy it if every plot twist was laid out in the first chapter? Probably not. The same applies to relationships. Share your thoughts, your plans, and your dreams, but leave just enough room for curiosity. This isn't about being secretive or playing mind game. It's about inviting her to discover who you are over time, one layer at a time. Imagine meeting someone who immediately unloads their entire life story on you. It can feel overwhelming, even draining. But when you meet someone who shares meaningful pieces of themselves gradually, it feels more natural, more engaging. You start to appreciate the journey of getting to know them. That's the dynamic you want to create, not because you're trying to control the pace of the relationship, but because genuine connections take time. The Stoics offer some timeless wisdom here. They taught us to speak only what is necessary, to weigh our words carefully before sharing them. This doesn't mean you should hold back your true self. It's about being intentional in how you communicate. By balancing openness with a sense of restraint, you're not only showing confidence, but also signaling that you value meaningful conversations over empty chatter. For example, instead of revealing every detail about a big goal you're working toward, share just enough to give her a glimpse of your ambition. I'm working on something that's really important to me right now. It's a challenge, but I'm excited to see where it leads. That leaves her room to ask questions, to be curious, and to stay engaged. It's an invitation for her to lean in, to want to know more, and to be part of your unfolding story. By doing this, you create a sense of intrigue that naturally makes her more invested in you. She'll appreciate that there's always something new to learn about who you are. This isn't about withholding information. It's about building a connection that feels alive and dynamic. The more she uncovers, the more she values the process of understanding you. Remember, relationships are not about trying to impress someone with everything you are upfront. They're about building trust and interest over time. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Let patience and intention guide you. When you focus on cultivating depth rather than rushing to reveal everything, you naturally set yourself apart. You're not just an option in her life. You're the person she wants to prioritize. And that happens when she feels that knowing you is not just interesting, it's irresistible. Number 8. Invest in her growth, not just her happiness. It's easy to focus on the surface level things, like trying to make her laugh or doing nice things to make her happy in the moment. Those gestures are sweet, but they don't build a foundation. A true connection comes when you're genuinely invested in her growth as a person. This means more than just saying you support her. It means actively encouraging her to chase her dreams, cheering her on when the path gets tough, and celebrating her victories, big or small. When she feels like you're in her corner, not just in the good times, but also when life challenges her, you shift from being an option to being her rock. A Stoic partner understands that love isn't about control, and it's definitely not about overshadowing someone else's light. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So, what kind of thoughts are you planting in her mind? Are you lifting her up, reminding her of her strength and potential? Or are you making her doubt herself? A Stoic approach to love is about empowering the other person to be their best self while remaining grounded in your own purpose and values. Let's say she has a big presentation at work, and she's nervous about it. You could just say, "You'll do fine," and leave it at that. But what if you went deeper? What if you asked her about her ideas, helped her rehearse, or reminded her of past times when she absolutely crushed it under pressure? That kind of support goes beyond the surface. It shows her that you see her potential, that you believe in her, even when she's unsure of herself. It's those moments of genuine investment in her growth that make you stand out as a partner. Love thrives when both people feel supported in their individual journeys. It's not about becoming dependent on each other. It's about building each other up. When she sees that you're not trying to change her or make her fit into your vision of who she should be, but instead, you're helping her grow into the best version of herself, she'll know you're someone special. She'll know you're not just there for the good times. You're there for the hard work, the growth, and the long-term vision. So, how do you become her priority? You do it by showing up consistently, by being thoughtful about her needs and dreams, and by embodying, the kind of steady strength that Stoicism teaches. Be the partner who inspires, who supports, and who grows alongside her. When you do that, you won't just be someone she turns to when it's convenient. You'll be the person she can't imagine life without. What are your thoughts on this approach to building a deeper connection in a relationship? Have you experienced moments where investing in someone's growth made a difference in your bond? Or maybe you've been on the receiving end of that kind of support. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Or, if you're short on words, just type "growth over convenience" to let us know you're on board with this idea. Your insights could inspire someone else on their journey. Number 9. Value time together, not just attention. This isn't about flashy gestures, constant attention, or trying to impress her with things that don't really matter. At its core, it's about presence. Women don't just want your attention. They want the kind of presence that makes them feel valued, cherished, and seen. Picture this. You're sitting across from her at dinner. Maybe it's her favorite spot, or maybe it's just a simple meal at home. What do you think matters more to her? The fancy setting, or the fact that you're looking her in the eyes, genuinely listening to her talk about her day, her dreams, or even her worries? It's the latter every single time. When a woman feels like the moments you share are meaningful, that's when she starts seeing you as someone important, not just someone who happens to be around. Seneca said something powerful. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And isn't that the truth? Time is the most precious resource we have, and yet, it's so easy to waste. When you spend time with her, are you fully there, or are you letting distractions, your phone, work, or even your own thoughts, pull you away? If you want to be her priority, show her that your time with her isn't something you take lightly. Treat those moments as sacred. Be intentional with how you spend them. Suppose it's been a busy week for both of you. Instead of just squeezing her into your schedule like an afterthought, you set aside an evening for her, and during that time, you're fully present. You ask her about her week, you laugh about the little things, and you share what's been on your mind. Even a simple walk in the park can become something special when your attention is completely on her. That kind of presence leaves an impression. It makes her feel like she matters, like she's not just an option in your life, but someone worth making space for. Now, let's address an important balance. Prioritizing a woman doesn't mean losing yourself in the process. This is where Stoicism can guide you. One of the key Stoic principles is to focus on what's within your control, and not be swayed by external distractions. When you're with her, being fully present is something you can control. But at the same time, when you're apart, continue to focus on your own growth and purpose. A woman doesn't just want a man who's always available. She wants a man who has his own direction in life. When she sees you taking care of yourself, pursuing your goals, and maintaining your sense of purpose, it makes your time together even more valuable. You're not just giving her scraps of your time. You're sharing something meaningful. Over time, this creates a dynamic that's impossible to ignore. She won't just feel like someone you happen to spend time with. She'll feel like someone you prioritize, someone who matters deeply to you. And in return, she'll see you as someone worth prioritizing in her own life. That's the foundation for a relationship that goes beyond the superficial. It's about building something real, something grounded in mutual respect and genuine connection. And it all starts with the simple but powerful act of showing her that your time with her is never wasted. It's cherished. Number 10. Protect your peace while offering stability. You can't offer stability to someone else if your own life feels like it's spinning out of control. Think about it. How can you be a steady, grounding presence for her when your emotions are all over the place, or when your mental well-being is constantly neglected? You need to protect your peace first, and that starts with taking responsibility for how you manage your emotions, your mindset, and the way you approach life. Imagine a ship in the middle of a storm. If the captain is panicking, making impulsive decisions, and losing focus, the entire ship is at risk of sinking. But if the captain stays calm, assesses the situation, and steers with intention, the crew can trust him to get them through the storm safely. That's who you need to be. Not just for her, but for yourself. When you're grounded and composed, you become the kind of man she can rely on. Not someone who gets swept up in every little challenge, but someone who knows how to navigate through them. This doesn't mean you need to be emotionless. Stoicism teaches us that emotions are natural, but they don't have to control us. When you take the time to reflect, to stay calm in the face of stress, and to build a strong foundation in your own life, you radiate a sense of stability that others can't help but notice. Women, especially, are drawn to that kind of strength, not the kind that intimidates or overpowers, but the quiet, unwavering strength that makes them feel safe. Picture a man who's constantly running late, forgetting plans, and reacting impulsively whenever something doesn't go his way. Even if he means well, his chaos creates doubt in her mind. Compare that to someone who takes care of his responsibilities, keeps his word, and knows how to handle setbacks with composure. The second man doesn't just talk about being dependable, he shows it. And that makes all the difference. She'll see him as someone worth investing her time and energy into, someone she can prioritize, because he already prioritizes himself and his life. Being her priority starts with being your own. Take care of your mental health by creating space in your life for reflection and growth. Whether it's journaling, meditating, working out, or simply stepping away from toxic environments, these are the steps that will help you build that inner strength. When you're steady, you naturally become the kind of man she feels secure with, someone she wants to build a future with, not someone she feels uncertain about. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't need to have all the answers, but you do need to be intentional about becoming the best version of yourself. Stability is attractive because it's rare. When you embody it, you don't just stand out. You make her feel like she's found something she doesn't want to lose. And that's how you go from being an option to being her priority. Number 11. Be her rock, not a shadow. If you want to be her priority, not just another option, you need to become a constant presence in her life. A steady, unwavering force she can rely on no matter what. Think of it this way. Relationships are like storms and sunny days. Anyone can show up when the sun is shining and life is easy. But what about when the clouds roll in, the winds pick up, and things get messy? To truly stand out, you have to be her rock during those moments. The lighthouse she can look to for stability, even when the world feels like it's crumbling around her. Being her priority isn't about making grand declarations or promises. It's about showing her, through consistent actions, that you're dependable and steady. A Stoic man understands this deeply. He knows that words mean little if they're not backed by deeds. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control: our integrity, our commitment, and the energy we bring to a relationship. When you live by these principles, you'll naturally set yourself apart. You won't just be another person in her life. You'll be the person she turns to when it matters most. For example, Think about the everyday moments that build trust and connection. Let's say she's had a terrible day. Her boss is unreasonable, she's stressed, and nothing seems to be going right. Most people might offer surface-level sympathy or a quick, "that sucks," before changing the subject. But you, as someone aiming to be her priority, go deeper. You sit with her, listen without judgment, and let her unload. You don't rush to fix her problems or make it about you. Instead, you show her through your presence that she's safe with you. That consistency, that ability to show up fully in the little moments, is what will set you apart. It's also important to live with purpose. A man who knows who he is and what he stands for becomes naturally magnetic. Women are drawn to men who are grounded in their values, who have a clear direction in life. When you have a sense of purpose, you're not just chasing her approval or trying to impress her. Instead, you're building a life that she'll want to be a part of. You're creating a dynamic where she sees you as a partner worth prioritizing, because you prioritize yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a way that reflects self-respect and discipline. Let's bring this back to Stoicism. The Stoic idea of amor fati, or loving one's fate, reminds us to embrace life as it comes, the good and the bad. This mindset is powerful in relationships. When you accept challenges as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to retreat, you show her that you're not afraid to face life head-on. You're not just there for the good times, you're there for all times. And that level of dependability is rare. It's what makes you not just an option, but the obvious choice. Being her priority means more than just being present when it's convenient. It means being present when it's inconvenient too. When you're tired, when you've had a long day, when it would be easier to pull away. It means showing her that you're invested, not because you're obligated to be, but because you genuinely care. Don't fade into the background like so many others. Be her source of strength and security. The person she knows she can count on no matter what. When you live this way, when you embody consistency, reliability, and purpose, she won't just see you as someone in her life. She'll see you as the person in her life. And when you reach that point, you won't have to wonder whether you're her priority. It will be crystal clear. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on the lessons we've uncovered. If you've ever felt like just another option in someone's life, you now know that the shift begins within. By prioritizing your own growth, embodying calm strength, and showing up consistently, you naturally elevate yourself in any relationship. The wisdom of the Stoics reminds us to focus on what's within our control, our mindset, actions, and boundaries. When you align your life with these principles, you create a foundation of respect, value, and purpose that others can't help but notice. Remember, it's not about convincing someone to choose you. It's about living in a way that makes being with you a choice they can't ignore. Whether it's through listening deeply, leading with quiet confidence, or building a meaningful life for yourself, these actions set you apart and create lasting connections. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these strategies resonated the most with you? How do you plan to apply these principles to your own relationships? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and your insights inspire this community. If you found value in this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps spread these ideas. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, so you won't miss any of the powerful insights we share here. And if you think someone else could benefit from this message, share it with them. They might need it more than you realize. Before you go, check out the recommended videos on the screen. They'll take you deeper into the art of building meaningful connections and mastering your mindset. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay grounded, stay purposeful, and keep building the life you deserve.